Alright, so today we're going to multiply binomials, and I'm going to teach you the FOIL method. Okay, FOIL stands for the order that you multiply terms in. And this is a way to multiply a binomial by a binomial. So we didn't do that yesterday. So it's when you're multiplying two terms by two terms. Okay, so the FOIL stands for you multiply the first terms together, then the outer terms, then the inner terms, and then the last terms. Okay, I like to do FEAL instead of FOIL, but I think I'm just unique in that way. My eyes always goes to the inside first, so we'll talk about that as well. Okay, so when you are multiplying, I'm going to give you two binomials. Alright, so here's an example. A binomial would be like x plus 8, and because we're multiplying, we're going to put it in parentheses. Dave, we're not relaxing, okay? I haven't written this down. Okay, so it's x plus 8. And then we're going to multiply that by another binomial, x minus 2. So you'll always have them in parentheses. Okay, so when it says to multiply the first terms together, they mean the first in each bracket. So that would be this, multiplying the first by the first. Okay, so if you multiply x by x, what do you get? X to the power 2. Yep, so that's x squared. So we're going to write that below. Okay, so the first term we multiplied x by x, and that's how we got x squared. Okay, and then the outer terms would be the ones on the outside. So here is x and negative 2. So you would multiply x by negative 2. So if you multiply x by negative 2, you would get negative 2x. And then the next one is the inner. Could you guys see what the inner ones are? Yeah, great. It's the 8 and the x. Okay, so 8 times x is just going to be 8x. Okay, and then the last terms are going to be the 8 and the negative 2. So don't forget to multiply it by the negative. So 8 times negative 2 is negative 16. Okay, so now what you're going to have to do is combine any like terms. So when you're doing FOIL with this, the like terms are going to be the two inside terms. So the negative 2x and the positive 8x. So negative 2 plus 8x is 6x. But you still have the x squared in front. And then was the 6x positive or negative? Positive. So if it's positive, you're going to do a plus. And then the 16 is negative. And this is going to be your final answer. Okay, so that is the most common method. It is called FOIL. That is what you will see in your future math classes. Okay, another strategy is called the box method, and some of you might like this one better. When people are first introduced to FOIL, often this is given as a method because it helps you organize your terms together. So the box method just means that you would take this same example, this x plus 8, and on the top you would write x, and then I put the plus with this, because if it's a minus you have to put it with the 2, so it's a positive 8. And then on the side it's x minus 2. Okay, and then what you would do is you would fill in the boxes by multiplying the column by the row. Have you guys done anything with boxes like this before?
Yeah, genetics.
Okay,
Genetics.
oh great. I wasn't.
Y and X comes from,
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you guys did that. Yeah, I know.
like last year.
Okay, and you'll do it again in biology. So good. So this is x times x. So this is going to be x squared. And then in this box it would be negative 2 times x. So negative 2 and the x get multiplied. Do you guys think you could do those two boxes? So in this box you'd have to multiply the 8 by the x. And then again, I put the plus with it so I know that it's positive. And then the negative 2 and the 8 negative. And then again, you just combine your like terms. So your like terms are going to be the positive 8x and the negative 2x. So again, you end up with both of them. Okay? Alright, so we're going to do some examples together, and then I will let you do some examples on your own. For the first one, we're going to use the FOIL method, and I'm going to show you how I like to write this out, and you can use that as well. So when you're doing the FOIL method and you have to do the first times the first, the x times x, we always do that one first, and then we write down x squared. Give yourself some space here. Now this is how I like to do the inside term and the outside term. So I know I have to multiply these two together, and 3 times x is going to be positive 3x. So I like to write it there. And then this is x times 5. That's a positive 5x. So if I write them there, I can just add them together right away. Because now I can just do 3x plus 5x to get 8x. And I feel like it saves me a little bit of time than writing it out horizontally. And then the last thing you're going to do is the 3 times the 5. So they're both positive, and we know 3 times 5 is what? 15. Good. Okay, so we use FOIL for that. Okay, for B, we're going to use the box method. And then when you guys are doing this on your own, I'll let you pick which one you like better. Okay? We're just going to do a couple of each so we can test out to see which one works for each of us. Now, it doesn't matter which one you put on the top and which one you put on the side. That's the nice thing. I just usually put the first one on the top, so I have A and a positive 4, and then I have A and a negative 2. Okay, so for this box I have an A times an A, which is A squared. Here I have negative 2 times A. And you can do the boxes in any order you want to. I usually just go down the column, and then 4 times A is 4A. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Okay, and then you'll start to see you're always going to combine the ones that just have your a in them. So a squared is going to stay. 4 minus 2 is 2, so this is 2a. And then you have the negative 8. Okay, so for this one we're using the box. Alright, and then for C, this is x minus 6 squared. This is an easy one to get mixed up on because we were just working with exponents, and when we were working with exponents we did a lot of distributing, but remember, when you have something to the second power, this means x minus 6 times x minus 6. So we can't just distribute here. We're going to have to use the FOIL method or the box method. Okay, so for C, we're going to do FOIL. Okay, so we're going to do x times x, which is x squared. And then negative 6 times x is negative 6x here. And then I have x times negative 6 again. So what's a negative 6 and minus 6? Nope, that would be if you have plus. So the negative minus another negative, it actually doubles. So because you have it twice, it's the same thing as negative 6 times 2. And then what's a negative 6 times negative 6? You have a negative times a negative. Yeah, so it has to be positive. What's 6 times 6? Good. So then this is going to be your final. Okay, so for D, this is a similar setup here where you have the squared. So remember that you're doing y plus 4 times y plus 4. Okay, so we're going to set up the box method for this. And then like I said, when you do this on your own, you can choose, and you only have to do it one time. So a y plus 4 and a y plus 4. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute to fill in the box. Okay, so Gabe, what do we get for this first box here? Oh, Gabriel. Okay, give me this one, Gabe. The next one. Yeah, yep, so, but did you write it as 4y? Like this? Okay. Yep, and then Joey, what about this top box? Yeah, 4y, and then Erica, what about this last one? What did you get?
Multiply. Do 4 times 4.
Yep, good. Okay, so y times y squared, y times 4 is 4y, that happens twice, 4 times 4 is 16, and then when you're writing out your final answer, you're going to have to combine like terms. Okay, so we're going to combine the 4y and the 4y. So how many y's do we have in the middle? What's 4? So we have to add them. What's 4y plus 4y? I guess I should have put the plus there. Okay, 8y, and then plus 16. Okay, all right.